I took Stephen and his wife Jane to Moscow, Russia. Despite the raging Cold War, I had been spending a month or so in Moscow every other year since 1968, collaborating on research with members of a group led by Yakov Borisovich Zeldovich. Zeldovich was a superb astrophysicist and also a father of the Soviet hydrogen bomb. Because of his nuclear secrets, he was forbidden to travel to Western Europe or America. He craved discussions with Stephen. He could not come to Stephen, so we went to him. In Moscow, Stephen wowed Zeldovich and hundreds of other scientists with his insights, and in return, Stephen learned a thing or two from Zeldovich. Most memorable was an afternoon that Stephen and I spent with Zeldovich and his PhD student, Alexei Starobinsky, in Stephen's room in the Rossiya Hotel. Zeldovich explained, in intuitive ways, a remarkable discovery they had made. And Starobinsky explained it mathematically. To make a black hole spin requires energy. We already knew that. A black hole, they explained, can use its spin energy to create particles, and the particles will fly away, carrying the spin energy with them. This was new and surprising, but not terribly surprising. When an object has energy of motion, nature usually finds a way to extract it. We already knew other ways of extracting a black hole's spin energy. This was just a new, though unexpected way. Now, the great value of conversations like this is that they can trigger new directions of thought. And so it was with Stephen. He mulled over the Zeldovich-Starobinsky discovery for several months, looking at it first from one direction and then from another, until one day it triggered a truly radical insight in Stephen's mind. After a black hole stops spinning, the hole can still emit particles. It can radiate, and it radiates as though the black hole was hot, like the sun, though not very hot, just mildly warm. The heavier the hole, the lower its temperature. A hole that weighs as much as the sun has a temperature of 0.0000006 Kelvin, 0.06 millionths of a degree above absolute zero. The formula for calculating this temperature is now engraved on Stephen's headstone in Westminster Abbey in London, where his ashes reside between those of Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin. This Hawking temperature of a black hole and its Hawking radiation, as they came to be called, were truly radical. Perhaps the most radical theoretical physics discovery in the second half of the 20th century. They opened our eyes to profound connections between general relativity, black holes, thermodynamics, the physics of heat, and quantum physics, the creation of particles where before there were none. For example, they led Stephen to prove that a black hole has entropy, which means that somewhere inside or around the black hole there is enormous randomness. He deduced that the amount of entropy, the logarithm of the hole's amount of randomness, is proportional to the hole's surface area. His formula for the entropy is engraved on Stephen's memorial stone at Gonville and Caius College in Cambridge, where he worked. For the past 45 years, Stephen and hundreds of other physicists have struggled to understand the precise nature of a black hole's randomness. It is a question that keeps on generating new insights about the marriage of quantum theory with general relativity. That is, about the ill-understood laws of quantum gravity. In autumn 1974, Stephen brought his PhD students and his family his wife Jane, and their 2 children, Robert and Lucy, to Pasadena, California for a year, so that he and his students could participate in the